Alex had never expected that living on a space station orbiting an alien planet could become so complicated. He had taken the assignment thinking it would be a quiet, routine job maintaining life support systems, repairing occasional mechanical failures, and reporting data back to Earth. But life had a way of surprising him, and right now, it was surprising him in ways he didn't fully understand. Mostly because his roommate, Lyra, was behaving in ways no human manual could explain. Lyra's species was something Alex had never seen before. Her skin shimmered faintly under the station's lights, reflecting colors that seemed to change with her mood. Her eyes were large and luminous, filled with intelligence and curiosity. But there was something else now, something that made Alex both nervous and extremely aware of her presence. He knew vaguely that Lyra was entering her mating season, a time when her species became more sensitive, more energetic, and, well, unpredictable for humans to be around. He had just entered their shared quarters to find her moving around the room in a strange rhythm, adjusting objects, pacing, and humming softly in a tone that felt almost magnetic. The humming wasn't loud, but the vibrations seemed to carry through the floor, through the walls, and even into Alex's chest. He froze near the doorway. Lyra," he asked cautiously. She turned her head slowly and blinked at him, her expression calm, almost serene. Then her pupils narrowed slightly and she smiled faintly, revealing a glimpse of teeth that looked strong but elegant. "Alex," she said softly, "you are here." He swallowed, trying not to panic. "Yeah, I'm here. I just came in to check my schedule." "They announced the quarantine, right?" Lyra nodded. "Yes. The planetary alignment triggers our rituals. The station is closed. Movement is limited. We are to remain here." Alex's mind raced. He had read the notice like everyone else. But he hadn't thought much about what remaining here would actually mean, especially with Lyra. He had shared a few meals with her, helped her adjust to the station, even shared some Earth music she liked, but that was all casual. This, however, was different. Now he was trapped in a confined space with someone whose biology could affect him in ways he couldn't predict. Lyra tilted her head slightly and studied him as though she could see every thought running through his mind. "Do you understand the implications?" she asked. Alex blinked. "Implications." Her smile widened. "During this period, we must follow practices. Practices that strengthen our bond if two beings are in proximity. You are in proximity." Alex felt his face heat up. He tried to think rationally. "Oh, okay. Bonding, practices. Got it." He glanced around for an escape route, but the station's quarantine protocols locked all exits automatically. There was no getting out. Lyra moved closer, but slowly, deliberately. "Do not fear," she said softly. "It is not dangerous. It is unusual for humans, but it is part of life for me." Alex nodded quickly, trying to reassure her and himself. "Right. Unusual. Got it." He took a step backward, but the wall behind him made it clear he had no room to retreat. The first few hours were awkward. Lyra engaged in her routines, stretching, pacing, humming, and occasionally interacting with the station equipment in ways Alex didn't understand. At first, he tried to give her space, staying near his bunk or the small workstation at the corner of the room. But soon, he realized that Lyra's actions were affecting the air, the light, even the energy fields in subtle ways. Her species seemed to radiate a kind of influence that humans were more sensitive to than they realized. He felt his heart rate increase slightly, his mind more alert, almost as if he were on edge without knowing why. "Alex," Lyra said after some time, her voice low and melodic, "you are affected." He glanced at her, startled. "Affected how?" She stepped closer, raising a hand and letting it hover near the air between them. Alex noticed the shimmer in her skin intensify, the colors flowing like liquid light. "You are sensing my energy. It is natural. It happens to humans in close quarters during this period. Your body responds." Alex swallowed hard. "Oh, that's natural, right? Totally normal?" Lyra's eyes glimmered. Yes, natural. He nodded, though his mind was anything but calm. He realized that even sitting across from her, merely breathing the same recycled air, made him feel something he couldn't quite define. There was no fear. He had faced emergencies before, but there was a strange alertness, connection he could not ignore. Hours passed and Alex tried to focus on work. He checked the station systems, ran diagnostics, and monitored environmental readings. Lyra continued her routines, sometimes observing him, sometimes humming quietly. Every now and then, a subtle pulse of her presence made his thoughts scatter. But he forced himself to concentrate. Then it happened. Alex accidentally knocked a small panel while adjusting some equipment, and a sudden burst of light flashed from Lyra's wrist device. It wasn't bright enough to harm him, but it was enough to trigger a response he didn't expect. A faint warmth spread through his chest, and his senses seemed to heighten. He could feel the vibration of the station's machinery, your distant hums of life support, even sense Lyra's heartbeat in some strange way. Lyra's eyes widened. You felt it, Alex coughed, trying to shake off the feeling. Felt what? The pulse. It was not accidental. Your body responded. He blinked. Responded? Oh, okay. She smiled faintly, a mix of amusement and curiosity. Yes, humans do not always understand, but your reaction shows potential. Understanding, or at least awareness. Alex ran a hand through his hair. Awareness. Got it. Not freaked out, just aware. Lyra tilted her head. You are not to be afraid. Fear interferes with the process, but do not resist either. It is part of connection. Alex frowned. Connection. Totally clear. Inside, however, he was trying to mentally prepare himself for the next few days. The quarantine was expected to last several cycles, which in human terms could be a week or more. That meant he would be trapped with Lyra, learning more about her species' mating season in ways no human could predict. The first night was tense. Alex barely slept, lying on his bunk while Lyra moved silently around the room. At times, she paused near him, her eyes studying his face, her presence both soothing and distracting. He realized that he was learning something subtle: patience, observation, and the art of nonverbal communication. Her species did not need words for everything, and in some ways, Alex found that fascinating. By the second day, Alex started noticing patterns. Lyra's movements were precise, almost ritualistic. She interacted with the environment to channel energy, not just for herself, but for the room's atmosphere. When she hummed or moved, the air seemed to shimmer faintly, almost like liquid light. Alex began to understand that this was not just biology, it was culture. Tradition and intelligence all intertwined. He even found himself participating, albeit unintentionally. When she asked him to hand her tools or adjust settings on the station panels, he followed her instructions carefully. Each action seemed to earn a faint smile or a nod from her. And each smile, each nod, made him feel a subtle warmth of accomplishment and trust. By the third day, Alex was beginning to enjoy this strange experience. He could laugh at his own awkwardness and marvel at Lyra's abilities. He realized that humans and aliens could coexist, not just in a practical sense, but in a way that built understanding, empathy, and friendship. Even if her species' mating season was something he didn't fully comprehend, he could still respect it, participate safely, and even contribute. That evening, as the artificial sunlight of the station dimmed, Lyra approached him slowly. Alex, she said softly, you have learned much. You are unusual among humans. Alex raised an eyebrow. Unusual? That's a good thing, right? Her luminous eyes gleamed. Yes, a very good thing. Many humans would panic, resist, or fail to understand. You adapt. You observe. You respect. This is rare. Alex chuckled nervously. Well, I try. I don't want to get eaten or, accidentally offend an entire species. Lyra laughed lightly, a sound like wind chimes. You will not be eaten. I would not allow it. But your humor is useful. It eases tension. They spent the night in relative calm, working on small projects together, sharing stories of their lives, and exchanging glances that conveyed more than words could. Alex realized that the quarantine, which had initially seemed like a nightmare, was turning into something transformative. He was learning about alien culture, patience, emotional awareness, and the unexpected ways humans could connect across species. By the end of the third day, Alex felt a deep respect for Lyra. Her rituals were strange but beautiful, her intelligence and empathy profound, and her presence inspiring. He no longer feared the mating season. He embraced it as a challenge and an opportunity to grow, not just as an engineer, but as a human capable of understanding life beyond Earth. But he also knew that things were only going to get more intense. The station's systems were due for a major alignment check. Lyra's mating season would peak soon, and he had no idea what surprises her species' rituals would bring. And somehow, he had a feeling that by the time this quarantine ended, he would not just be Alex the engineer, but Alex the human who had survived, understood, and perhaps even connected with something far greater than himself. As he lay on his bunk that night, he watched the shimmer of Lyra's skin as she floated near the observation window, gazing at the next morning, the station's artificial sunlight streamed through the observation window, casting a pale glow across the room. Alex rubbed his eyes and stretched, glancing over at Lyra. She was already moving gracefully around the quarters, humming softly, her shimmering skin reflecting the light in a subtle dance of colors. There was no tension this time, only a quiet anticipation in the air. Alex realized he was no longer nervous about the mating season. He was curious. Lyra turned and noticed him watching. "You are awake early," she said, her voice smooth, melodic, and calm. Like mornings," Alex replied with a grin. "Helps me prepare for whatever surprises this quarantine throws at me." She tilted her head, her expression thoughtful. "You are prepared differently than I expected. Humans usually resist. You adapt. You learn. It is unusual, and it pleases me." Alex laughed softly, feeling a warm sense of pride. "Well, I try. I guess I like challenges." The day began with small tasks, assisted Lyra in adjusting the station's environmental controls. She guided his hands with patience, showing him how her species' energy interacted with the station systems. At first, it felt awkward. Alex had never handled controls designed for an alien physiology. Lyra's instructions were often cryptic, using gestures and tones that humans weren't trained to understand. But slowly, he caught on, mimicking her movements and feeling the subtle flow of energy she radiated. By mid-morning, the station's sensors began detecting unusual readings from the planetary alignment outside. Lyra's body responded immediately, a soft glow intensifying across her skin, and her hums shifted in pitch. Alex felt the familiar warmth of her presence affecting him again, but this time it was different. It was not disorienting. It was invigorating. He understood instinctively that her peak season was approaching. "We must be careful," Lyra said, her voice gentle but firm. "This stage is powerful. It affects not only me, but the environment. The station must remain stable." Alex nodded. "Got it. Stable. I'll help." He tried to steady his breathing, focusing on the task at hand rather than the strange pull he felt from her energy. Hours passed as they worked together. Lyra guided him through intricate calibrations, showing him how her species' natural resonance could stabilize or destabilize the station's systems. Alex marveled at her intelligence and adaptability. She moved with precision, a perfect combination of strength and elegance, while he contributed human ingenuity, finding solutions where instinct alone could not suffice. During a short break, they sat near the observation window. Lyra watched the alien planet below, her eyes reflecting swirling green and blue landscapes, forests that seemed alive, and oceans that sparkled in sunlight. Alex followed her gaze, feeling a deep sense of connection to the universe. "You seem to enjoy watching," Lyra said, noticing his expression. "I do," Alex admitted. "There's something calming about it. And it's amazing to think humans can be here, working alongside species like yours." Lyra smiled faintly, a quiet warmth in her expression. "You honor your species with that thought." Many humans are careless or fearful. You are different. Alex felt a smile tug at his lips. I guess that's what happens when you live with someone who's, well, amazing. He paused, realizing he had said it out loud, and looked at her nervously. Lyra's eyes glimmered. You appreciate what is true. That is good. You are learning more than I expected. The day's routine continued, but tension began to rise as the station's systems started showing minor fluctuations. Alex could sense Lyra's energy shifting. She became more focused, her movements sharper, and the colors of her skin pulsed rhythmically. He knew that her species' mating season was not just biological, it was deeply tied to emotion, trust, and cooperation. Alex, she said, her voice steady but urgent. We must work together. Now is the peak. Your understanding is essential. He nodded, feeling a surge of determination. Right, let's do this. Together, they moved to the central control unit. Lyra instructed Alex to adjust energy flows in precise sequences while she amplified the station's resonance through her own energy. At first, the process was chaotic. The readings fluctuated wildly, lights flickered, and alarms sounded briefly. Alex's heart raced, but he stayed calm. Following her guidance and trusting his instincts, step by step, the chaos began to settle. Lyra's humming stabilized, syncing with Alex's steady movements. The station's systems responded to their combined efforts. Energy flows leveling out, lights glowing softly instead of flickering, and the air feeling charged yet harmonious. Alex felt a deep sense of accomplishment, realizing that his human reasoning, combined with Lyra's alien instincts, could achieve balance where either alone might have failed. As the systems stabilize, Lyra turned to him, her eyes shining with gratitude. You have done well. You have proven worthy of trust. Alex smiled, feeling a rush of relief and pride. Thanks. I couldn't have done it without you. I mean, we did it together. Lyra's skin shimmered brighter, a gentle wave of colors flowing across her body. Yes, together. This connection is rare. Many humans cannot understand, but you are capable. The rest of the day passed in a mixture of work and quiet reflection. Alex noticed small changes in himself. He felt more aware, more patient, and more attuned to subtle cues in the environment. Lyra's presence, once intimidating, now felt like guidance and partnership. He realized that he was learning something far more valuable than technical skills. He was learning to connect, to adapt, and to respect life in forms he had never imagined. That evening, the quarantine's artificial night fell over the station. Alex and Lyra sat together near the observation window, watching the alien planet bathed in twilight. The atmosphere was serene, yet charged with the remnants of Lyra's peak energy. Alex felt a strange sense of unity, as if their thoughts and emotions were subtly aligned. You have changed, Lyra said softly, her voice almost a whisper. Humans are usually rigid, stubborn, resistant. But you embrace, you adapt. That is rare, Alex chuckled. I guess being trapped in a room with someone who glows and hums a lot has that effect. Lyra tilted her head, a faint laugh escaping her lips. Your humor is charming. It eases tension. It is. Welcome. Alex smiled, feeling a warmth that had nothing to do with Lyra's energy and everything to do with the trust they had built. He realized that despite the unusual circumstances, despite the quarantine and the challenges of her species' mating season, he had found a sense of belonging. The next few cycles passed in a rhythm that became almost comfortable. Alex and Lyra worked together, laughed at minor mishaps, and shared stories of their lives. He told her about Earth, about human inventions, and about dreams of exploring the universe. She shared fragments of her species' culture, their traditions, and the meanings behind the rituals he had once found mysterious. One afternoon, an alert flashed on the station's main monitor. An unexpected solar flare was approaching the orbiting station. Lyra's body responded immediately, the shimmer of her skin intensifying, her hums becoming a rhythmic pulse that seemed to resonate through the entire room. Alex knew this was another critical moment, one that required both human ingenuity and alien instinct. Alex, Lyra said urgently, "We must act. Now." He moved beside her, analyzing the data, making quick adjustments to the shielding systems. Lyra's energy flowed through the control panel interfaces, amplifying their effects. Together, they stabilized the station just in time, shielding it from the solar flare's dangerous radiation. Breathing heavily, Alex looked at Lyra. "We did it. That was amazing." Lyra's eyes shone with a mixture of relief and pride. "Yes, together, we protect life. That is what matters. You have proven your worth again." Alex felt a deep sense of accomplishment. He realized that humanity's strength was not just in technology or problem-solving, but in courage, adaptability, and trust. Lyra had shown him a new perspective, and he had reciprocated with human ingenuity and resilience. As the flare passed and the station settled into calm once more, Alex and Lyra shared a quiet moment of reflection. The quarantine was ending soon, the peak of the mating season had subsided, and the station's systems were stable. Alex felt a bond with Lyra that went beyond words, a connection of trust, respect, and shared experience. "You will leave soon," Lyra said softly, her eyes fixed on him. "The quarantine ends, but the connection remains." Alex nodded, a smile tugging at his lips. "Yeah, I'll carry this with me. Not just the experience, but everything I've learned from you." Lyra's skin shimmered gently, a subtle wave of colors flowing in a silent affirmation. "You honor me, Alex. You honor your species, and you honor life. That is rare. That is human." For the first time since he arrived on the station, Alex felt completely at peace. He had faced an alien mystery, survived a peak biological event, and discovered the true depth of his own humanity. He realized that humans could do remarkable things. Not just survive, but connect, understand, and grow. Even in the most unexpected circumstances, as the artificial sunlight dimmed for the station's night cycle. Alex looked at Lyra one last time before lying down to rest. He felt a sense of pride, not in himself alone, but in humanity as a whole. If humans could face challenges like this, if they could adapt, respect, and cooperate with alien life, then the future was limitless. And though the mating season had ended, Alex knew this was not the